Hello everyone, welcome back. This evening we'll be speaking about work ethic. That is something that is very important and crucial to attaining financial success. So let's jump right in. Work ethic can be described as the personal benefit you get from doing work. Most notably, money. Depending on previous choices you may have made, acquiring money from work may be easy or it may be more difficult. Not saying that only doctors and lawyers can become financially free, but most who put their mind to it can become financially free. I'm not here to tell you a bunch of cliches. The difference is not whether or not you can, but how long it will take you. So I don't want to get too deep too fast, but just giving a little bit of background towards that. We all make choices. Going back to a previous video, but our choices have consequences. So naturally, if someone is a mechanic, mechanics stereotypically, they don't make a whole lot of money, in comparison to that of lawyer, doctor, engineer, cliche professions. Not that those are all valuable professions. Those professions tend to be, earn a little bit more. And so, not saying that obviously, if you have a considerable amount of debt and you make less income, it's going to take you a little longer to become financially free. But with that being said, if you have more income, it can take you less or it can take you longer to become financially free. So it goes back to choices. Just because you make more money does not mean you will become financially free faster. It still requires you making that personal decision that of commitment to becoming financially free. Now, I'm not telling you everyone needs to be, pilot, lawyer, doctor, whatever, a hiring, profession. Anybody has the ability to become financially free. You just have to strategize correctly and make correct choices. And I'll dig a little deeper into that later in this video. But I think that's something that people tend, to overthink and immediately, say, financial freedom is just not for me. Nobody's been financially free in my family, and my grandparents, my parents were, so I'm not. That is, self-destructive thinking. That is something you have to get your mind out of. You can, and if you truly want to be, you will be financially free as long as you make good decisions and work hard and capitalize and request help when you need it. But something that, with that being said, something that's still true, you cannot do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. And I think work ethic is something that people have kind of misconstrued in today's society. Work ethic does not mean, wake up and, excuse me, does not mean you wake up at, 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work, yada, yada, yada. Like, not necessarily. Like, that's more so of a social idea, social construct of work ethic. Work ethic is the idea, the concept that doing work gives you some kind of emotional, mental benefit, which it does. You show me a man who's not happy, I'll show you a man without a purpose. So work is good for us, but obviously comes to our finances, that same mentality is profitable. If you obviously, if you're lazy, it's going to be harder for you to make money, unless you're well, even now with COVID, like, you're in a profession where it's not super physically intensive, and just because you're not in a profession that's not physically intensive, does that mean you don't have work ethic? Obviously not. There are, IT analysts, economists, like, those aren't physically intensive jobs, but they work very, very hard at what they do, and they have the potential to be a high income earner. But conversely, again, just because you're a mechanic doesn't mean you can't, make money. If you work hard over time, you can attain financial freedom as well if you're a mechanic, or even if you want to go to business, you have your own garage, eliminate, work for yourself. You can usually make, a little bit more money, not immediately, but eventually. That is, see, small business, that's a whole separate different video. I need to make one of those as well. But let's get back on topic here. Starting from the bottom, work ethic is something that I think people think, if you go to work at 5 in the morning, work in the mines till sunset, and you go home, work ethic, boom. I mean, like in a traditional sense, sure, but like those days are long gone. Necessarily cold, we're saying the narrow-minded view of what work ethic means. Work ethic means I have a goal, I have a job to do, and I have an outcome, and the outcome being a paycheck, and the goal being financial freedom. I'm going to go to work, complete in order to obtain my goal, which is financial freedom, and the outcome of hard work and that paycheck is the manifestation thereof. So if you are not working hard, making good choices with your paycheck, making good choices with the work that you do to earn that paycheck, financial freedom is not going to be quick, even if it is, if it's going to happen, it's not something that's going to happen for you. You have to be willing to work your way out of the hole that you worked yourself into in the first place. Anything helps. People tend to think, if I have, a couple hours Saturday afternoon, a couple hours in the afternoon, what's a job really going to help? Like, I mean, especially now, kind of seasonal time frame, like anything helps, especially if it's income, something that you're used to not having. Go from working Monday through Friday, and suddenly you have this auxiliary income, and at first temptation is going to be to spend it, save for Christmas, go on a trip. But none of those things are inherently wrong. But if you're trying to attain financial freedom, the wise thing to do, yes, take a portion of that, put it into savings. A portion of that goes into I guess your immediate spending. You don't have to spend it immediately, but put it into some account that you can spend it, so you're not, we talked about earlier, depriving yourself either. But the majority of that money should be going to paying debt off. It's money that you wouldn't have had anyway, so it's not money that you're going to have missed. And if you can still maintain your primary paycheck, which you were previously using to pay your bills before you got the secondary job, you can use the money from that secondary job to pay off your primary bills. So now you have more income paying less bills. That's more money going into your pocket, more money going into savings, more money going into attaining financial freedom. Number three, staying focused on the long term. Going back to that job. Yes, a job. If you Monday through Friday, you really go at it, or even if you don't like your career, you don't like your coworkers, whatever, it can be tiring. I get that. Not everybody has the aptitude. Weekends are the family time. That's when you travel, work on your hobbies. I get that. But with that being said, if you truly want financial freedom, you have to sacrifice and stay focused on the long term. Means be willing to sacrifice in the short term to enjoy the benefits of financial freedom in the long term. If I told you you could work hard for 2 years and not work hard again for the rest of your life, would you do it? Now, I posed that question to a lot of young people, and they say you'd be surprised how many people say no. They want this, I don't know what to call it, whether it's a mindset of instant gratification or it's I don't know what the future holds, so I'm going to live it up today instead of focusing on the long term. Not focusing on the long term necessarily like putting everything into it, but at least having some plan for success in the future instead of just living, day to day, month to month. So I think most people, like once you're a certain age of maturity, that you would make sense to work hard for 2 years and then not really work hard for the rest of your life. I'm not saying, you just live on the couch for the rest of your life, no, but I'm saying part of attaining financial freedom, so this is a freebie. Part of attaining financial freedom is putting yourself in a position where you don't have to work somewhere where you in absolute need of money. Yes, there'll always be electric bill, cable, cell phone, stuff like that. Yes, but you are not. If you don't go to work today, your family will starve within 2 months. That is not financial freedom. That's living paycheck to paycheck. That is miserable. That is not where I think most people want to be. That is what. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.